All right, this is lesson 8.10 where we are graphing inequalities. So example 1, we're going to show the solutions if t is greater than 60 on a number line. So notice right here where it says use an open circle for when we are using the less than or greater than inequalities. That means that we're going to go to the number 60. And you know how normally when you graph them, you'll do a dot and bubble it in? Yeah. Well, we're not going to draw a dot. We're going to draw an open circle, just like a 0 on 60. So open circle, or you might call it an empty circle. Okay. So what that tells me is that 60 is not included as a possible solution. Okay? Now, if t has to be greater than 60, which way should I draw an arrow? To the right. So I'm going along the number line, and I'm going to try to make it thick enough that you can still see there's an arrow there. And I'm just drawing my arrow that way to show that t would have to be a number that's greater than 60. So open circle, and then an arrow to the right. So that means that 60 and 1/10 could be a solution. 70 can be a solution. 80 could be a solution. 100 could be a solution. Or we could go on because it keeps going. But it cannot be 60 or anything less than 60. Does that make sense? So we use an open circle when it's not equal. So let's look at example 2. We're going to graph the solutions of the inequality y is less than 5. So we're going to start by drawing an open circle at 5. Okay, so that means that 5 is not included as a possible solution. And then which way would I draw an arrow? If it's got to be less than 5, I'm drawing my arrow to the left. And make sure that you are drawing it on the number line. You might have to make it a little bit thicker for it to show up, but as long as you can see it, that's what matters. You've got to be able to tell which way it's going. Any questions there? All right. All right, so the examples we just had finished were the ones where we had to have an open circle because the number wasn't part of the solution. We used a closed circle or a shaded circle if it is less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. So right here we have graph the solutions of the inequality on the number line, and we have W is less than or equal to, if you can't see that, that's an equal right there. W is less than or equal to 0.8. So I'm going to go find 0.8 first. And since this has the line, it means it can be that. So I'm going to close my circle. I'm going to fill it in. So I have a shaded circle at 0.8. Okay. So W can be that or less. So that means I need to draw my arrow to the left. Any questions on that one? All right, then let's look at example 4. So we have n is greater than or equal to -3, and we're graphing the solutions on the number line. So we do have that equal part again, so I get to fill in a circle at -3, so it's a closed circle or a shaded circle. And if n has to be equal to or greater, which way would I draw my line? To the right. Okay, so when there's that equal sign there too, we draw a closed-in circle. If there's no equal sign, we have an open circle or an empty circle. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. You will see this again in 7th grade, and they'll probably expand on it a little more. But I know some of the 7th graders have mentioned doing this. All right, so look at number 5. So this time, though, They give us a number line, and it's already filled in, and we've got to write what the inequality is. So you can use any variable you want to be basically the part where the line is or the circle is. So I just basically use x as my default variable. And then notice my circle is at -2. So now I've just got to decide which inequality symbol do I need. It's saying it's less than. Is it equal to? No, because it's open. So this is it. X is less than -2. And you'll typically, when you're doing these, when you're doing the ones where you have to write the inequality, put the variable first and put the number last. Okay? Any questions on those? All right, go ahead and turn in your book to page 333. All right, number 1, we have m is less than 15. So what kind of circle do I need on 15?
Open.
An open circle. And which way do I need to shade if m is less than 15? To the left. I say shade, I mean draw my arrow. So I need to draw my arrow to the left. Okay, number 2. Where would I draw my circle on this one? Or where would I graph my circle, I should say? I've got -1.5, so that would be between which two numbers? Between -1 and -2. Now, is my circle going to be open or closed? It's going to be closed because it has an equal sign, so I'm going to go ahead and fill it in. Close it up. Tells me that C is greater than or equal, so which way would I draw my arrow? To the right. And you don't have to draw it real far, just far enough that it can be seen. It doesn't have to go all the way. Any questions on those two? Okay, look at number 3. So this time our number is 5/8. But if you'll notice, we don't have 8s down here. But that's an easy fix. All we have to do is what?
Times 2 on all of them.
So get a common denominator. So here I have 4, so if I multiplied by 2, that would be 2/8. This one would be 4/8. This one would be, and over here, well, 8/8 are just one whole, right? Where would 5/8 be? Between the 4/8 and the 6/8. So right here, and what kind of circle am I going to graph? A closed circle. Okay, am I going to draw my arrow to the left or the right if it's less? Left, less. They both start with L's. If it's less, we go left. All right. Any questions on that one? Let's go to number 4. Okay, so on number 4, we're going to write an inequality to go with the number line. So I'm just going to use the default x as my variable. You can use any variable you want. And what number would my circle be at? -1. All right, so it's showing the arrow is going to the right, so that means that x would have to be greater. And my circle is open, so that means that that's not part of the answer, so I would not draw the equal sign. Any questions? Okay, number 5. So I'm going to use x, and where's my circle? What number? 5. Okay, so it's shading to the left, which means that x would be less, and my circle is closed, so that means I need the what?
And a line under it.
I need a line under it to show the equal part. So this is x is less than or equal to 5. Does anyone have a question? Okay, so what you're going to do is finish page 333. I do have a slip of paper I'm going to send with you that you can put in your book. so you don't have to draw those number lines. So, and we'll staple it into your book. So you're going to finish page 333, bring it to me and let me check it. And then you'll do your practice workbook page. We don't have an exit ticket for this lesson. Any questions? Okay.